Hey, what's up my nasties, it's your boy Nasty Jack here. So yeah, this morning I was saying my prayers and I was asking God to please give me some peace of mind about this last chapter. I'm sad that this book has already come to an end. It has been a pretty sweet good tasty nasty ride if I do say so myself. My mama sent me an email the other day and she was saying how proud of me she was that I finally got a real job, but how disappointed she was that the job was writing fanfic about my own life. Okay, yeah, whatever mommy, these stories are all true. But anywho, let's stop talking about how hard my life is to live. Let's get to the chapter. Here we go. Man on the Moon. Chapter 12. The Fate of the Earth. Written and narrated by Nasty Jack. Neil Legstrong said, "Now Nasty Jack, it's time to destroy the Earth." Immediately I was like, no, you can't destroy the Earth. My gosh, we've been through this before, but wow, I love the Earth is so cool and round and blue and green and okay and gooey. I love it. Oh. Plus I got an easy bake oven for Christmas last year and I still haven't tried making an upside down pineapple cake in it yet. Jeez. Oh wow, said Neil, since you put it that way, I guess I can postpone the destruction of the Earth. Ah heck yeah my dude, I responded. Thanks for your consideration. Dude, I'm kidding, said Neil Legstrong. Goodness me, you are so gullible. Dang dude, I responded. That really cut me deep. How dare you? Yee, sorry bruh, said Neil. But I'm a bad guy, so I have to do bad guy things. That's just how you play the game. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense, I responded. Just then the love of my life, Debbie the Dream Queen Spaghetti Betty, started running at Neil. She did a Benihana 900 and twist. And then started shooting her pistol at him like this. Pew pew. Pew pew pew. Neil Legstrong was uncannily able to dodge every one of her bullets. Then he pulled out his gun and shot the gun out of her hand like this. Pew. Ah hot dang, said Debbie. I really thought I would have caught you off guard. Ugh. Yeah, that was a good idea, responded Neil, but I trained at the academy for like 8 years, so not to brag, but I have reflexes like a fox. Wow, you're kind of really hot to me right now, responded Debbie. A tear welled up in my eye and I said, no. Debbie, please don't, he's a bad guy and I'm a good guy, please love me. Then Baloney Bob was like, hey Debbie, I also trained at the academy, what do you think of me? Okay, everyone shut up, said Neil Legstrong. Don't you guys want to hear my monologue before I blow up the Earth? Oh yeah, whoops, we forgot about that, responded myself, Debbie, and Baloney Bob the Bobby Baloney boy. Neil Legstrong proceeded to walk over to Dr. Litney. He knelt down and unlocked the handcuffs that were on her. He put her arm around his shoulder and lifted her up, so that she was standing with him. He then cleared his throat like this. Ahem. So yeah, long story short, Dr. Litney and I have known each other since our college days back in our astrophysics class at the Dank Space University of Scientific Stuff in Miami, Florida. We knew the trajectory that life was taking on the Earth was unsustainable, so we initiated the Lunar Prime project together. Unbeknownst to the US government, we also started our cloning facility where we carefully collected the DNA from some of the most important people on the Earth. And don't you dare ask us how we managed to do that, because it really sucked. Anyway, now we're back together and we'll use our clones to start a new life. A life where mankind can have a fresh start. Wow. I said. Ah hot dang, I hate you, Neil Legstrong. Why do you suck so much? Like I trusted you with my life. With my life. And thought you were dead this whole time. Yeah, well, it was all just a trick, you idiot, responded Dr. Litney. He didn't die, he's been here with me this whole time, helping me get the laser ready to blow the Earth to smithereens. Ah hot dang, you really pulled the wool over our eyes, you are both so sneaky. Just then I remembered the age-old words that my pappy used to say to me. He told me, "Drink your gosh darn milk before it spoils you, dummy." Wow, I miss Pappy Jack so much and all of his wild antics. Oh. But those words rang loudly in my mind and my heart, and suddenly I felt courageous, bold, and a little gassy. I could feel the power of my pappy's 97-year-old body surging through me in that very moment. I noticed that Neil Legstrong and Dr. Jilly Litney had started making out. Ugh, that's kind of disgusting, but yeah, I was kind of jealous at the same time. But with them distracted, I made my move. I suddenly ran toward them like a big little lay anime boy and yelled like this. I ran like Naruto running after Sasuke in their final battle. Neil Legstrong pushed Dr. Jelly Litney to the side, but before he could do anything else I punched him square in his nutties. Punch. Ouchie. He said, "Not my family jewels." Then before he could react any further I started laying down some serious smackdown on his face like this. Slap 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 slap. 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 Smack. Ouchie, said Neil, and he slumped to the ground because I knocked him out. The power of my pappy was simply too much for him to handle. Dr. Jelly Litney lied on the floor, still unable to move from the wound in her leg, but she gave me a menacing look like this. Grr. I turned to Debbie and Baloney Bobby. They both ran toward me and gave me a big little lay hug, and they squeezed me so hard that I farted like this. Toot. Ad break time. Hello, my nasties. Wow, this episode is pretty okay so far. Just the way I like it. Anyway, today's episode is sponsored by Elmer's Glue. Wow, this stuff is actually pretty neat. Because they are sponsoring this episode, they sent me like 6 gallons of their glue, and I've been doing a ton of fun crafts that I will give to all my family members like my mama and my pappy for Christmas. I've also made like 100 of those super awesome pencil box bookmarks. Wow, making those is so much fun. I love it. Unfortunately, I don't even read, so they've just been piling up in the corner of my house. My mama is getting really mad at me about it. Oh well, whatever, mama. Aha. Now let's move on to our nagging nasties, the part of the show where we hear from our biggest fans, the nasties. Today we're hearing from, oh my goodness. Oh. I can't believe it. It's none other than Pappy Jack. Wow, what a coincidence. Hee hee. Anyway, here's what my pappy has to say. Dear Nasty Jack, it's me, your pappy. I was talking to your mother earlier today and she showed me how to send you an email on the computer using the email website AOL.com. I feel like a brand new man and so technologically savvy. Anyway, I also wanted to let you know that I have written you out of my will, so just a heads up because I'm probably gonna kick the bucket pretty soon. And another word of advice, you should really stop writing your silly audiobooks. It's time to grow up, you idiot. Haha, wow, my pappy is so funny, I love him so much. Oh. Okay, sweet, now let's get the freak-a-leaking frick-frack back to the pack. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, what's our plan, asked Debbie. Well, apparently the laser is on level 68 out of this moon base, I responded, and also apparently we're only on level 2. And also there are conveniently no elevators in this room. So yeah, I'm not sure how we're supposed to stop this ding-dang-ding-galing thing, so if you guys have any ideas that would be lovely. The three of us looked over and saw Neil Legstrong start to stir. Ah, hot dang, said Debbie, we should probably move quick before the ole strong-legged boy comes to. If he resumes the countdown, we'll only have 3 seconds before the big lil ole earth goes kaboom. Okay, quick, let's think, I said. What if we? No, that wouldn't work. Maybe we could. No, that's a lame idea. What about? Ah, hot dang, I can't come up with anything. Hey, said Baloney Bob. Oh. Hello. I responded. Oh hi Nasty Jack, replied Bobby the Baloney boy. Just so you guys know, I've had an idea for how to disable the laser for like the past 2 chapters. Bro, you couldn't have shared that information with us after I just thought really hard like this. I responded. Yeah, I just didn't want to interrupt your brainstorming sesh, said Bobby. It looked like you were really getting somewhere. Yeah, well, I was mostly just doing that to impress Debbie, I responded, but I appreciate you being a sweet little boy. Anyway, what kind of plan do you have up in that thick hole, baloney brain? Baloney Bob began to speak. What if we just removed the crystal from the pedestal in the middle of the room? Ah, dang, there he goes again, I said. My guy, you are a genius. Let's do it. The 3 of us went over to the pedestal that held the crystal. We all looked at each other with concerned looks on our faces as we were looking at each other concerningly. Debbie, Pasta and Baloney Bob were counting on me. I needed to do this to show them how cool I was. How hot I was. How magically delicious I was. Dear George Washington, I said aloud. Please grant me the strength of my pappy to rip this freak-a-leaking crystal from the maw of this pedestal and henceforth disable the moon laser. Amen. I grabbed the crystal with all my might and pulled on it like this. As I was tugging on the crystal with all that was in me, I saw Baloney Bob pull out a Game Boy from his pocket and he sat down on the floor and started playing. Debbie Pasta started practicing her backflips. Wow, I didn't know she could do that, and I didn't realize it was taking me so long to pull this crystal out of the pedestal. I tried for what seemed like 69, nice, days, but to no avail. I let go of the crystal and slumped to the ground. What the freaking heck, I said very loudly. Hey dude, please don't cuss, said Baloney Bob. Whoops, I'm sorry, I responded. I'm just super mad right now because I thought I would be able to pull the crystal out and then Debbie Pasta would marry me instantly. Anyway, what are you playing, Bobby? You know I love them video juegos. Oh, responded Baloney Bob Robert Bolibert the Baloney Boy. I'm playing Back to the Future for the NES. My Game Boy can't emulate games because I'm a cool hacker boy. Oh dope dude, crank that funky tune for me please because I love that music. Baloney Bob turned the music up on his Game Boy and Debbie Pasta and they sat down on the floor next to him and watched him play. Just then we saw Neil Legstrong start to get up. Wow, I can't believe he was knocked out for that long, like geez, I was probably tugging on that crystal for legitimately like at least an hour and a half. But before Neil Legstrong could even stand all the way up, we heard a faint noise that sounded super familiar. Oh no, me and Debbie Pasta and Baloney Bob and Dr. Jelly Litany and Neil Legstrong all said at the same time. How did they find us, said Dr. Jelly Litany. I thought being underground by 2 stories was enough to keep those ding-dang monsters away. Huh, that's so wild. We then heard the loud crash come from the room next to us. They must have made their way into the room where we discovered Metabi. RIP. Luckily the door was sealed so we still had some time, but we also still needed to deal with Neil the beefy-legged boy and Dr. Jelly Litany, who honestly at this point wasn't as big of a threat because she couldn't move. Before anything else could happen, Baloney Bob turned off his Game Boy and put it back into his pocket. Suddenly the screeching of the monsters stopped. Huh? We all said. Quick Bobby, give me your Game Boy, I said. I have an idea. No dude, this thing is mine. I'm not giving it to you, I got it from your mama and newsflash, I'm in love with her. Okay dude, that's just gross, I responded, and they slapped Baloney Bob in the face and swiped the Game Boy from his grubby little baloney hands. I then ran over to the pedestal that held the crystal. I looked at Bobby. Quick, keep Neil Legstrong away from the control panel. If he gets to it, we're all doomed and we'll never get to play Breath of the Wild 2 for the Nintendo Switch. Right, responded Bobby, I'm on it. And he went over and started slapping Neil Legstrong a lot in the face. Then I looked at Debbie. My girl, I said, I need you to get ready to open the door to this room. But that will let the monsters, and she responded. Exactly, I said. Just please go over by the door and wait for my cue. Debbie ran over to the door and looked over at me. Just then I heard Baloney Bob start yelling, "Hey Nasty Jack, can you please hurry up? I can't hold Neil for much longer. His legs are too strong." I watched as Neil Legstrong inched closer and closer to the control panel. Just then I turned on Bobby's Game Boy. The music from Back to the Future started playing and the monsters started screeching again and pounding on the door. I looked over and saw Neil Legstrong stretch out his hand to resume the countdown for the laser. Then I looked at Debbie and yelled, "Let's go." She then pressed the button to open the door and 3 monsters rushed into the room. I quickly positioned the Game Boy so that it balanced on the crystal and then ran to the other side of the room. The monsters rushed toward the Game Boy on the crystal, pushing and shoving each other all the while, seemingly going mad because of the music that was playing. Then without skipping a beat, one of the monsters swallowed the Game Boy, the crystal, and the whole pedestal whole and let out a big lilo-lay burp like this. Belch. At the same time Neil Legstrong pressed the button on the control panel to resume the countdown. A computer voice came on in the room. "Destruction of the Earth in 3." Everyone including the monsters turned to the 2 giant screens in the room that showed the Earth as well as the moon's laser. 2. We all huddled together and watched as the laser on the screen started to glow red as it was charging up. 1. Initiate. I was so scared in that moment I pooped my pants like 69 nice times. No, me and Debbie and Baloney Bob all said together in anticipation of the destruction of God's gooey green earth. But then nothing happened. The laser didn't do its dirty business. I looked at Bobby and Debbie and was like, "Hey yeah my dudes, we won. Our plan worked." I then turned to the monsters and gave each of them a high five and they were all like GRR. Dr. Jelly Litany and Neil Legstrong started crying a lot like the spook who wah 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 wah. "You guys are fools. The Earth is destined for destruction because of its excessive consumerism and lack of regard for sustainability." "Okay yeah whatever dude," I responded. "I'm just glad we get to play Breath of the Wild too, and that my buddies are safe, and that I can go home and sleep in my lilo-lay bed." And then I let out a big nutbuster of a fart. The following week was pretty mad wild. We managed to get communications back up and running with NASA, who we exposed for creating plans for a laser in the moon. They denied their relations with Dr. Jelly Litany and Neil Legstrong, saying that the laser was to be used in case of intergalactic war. Investigations are still ongoing. We flew back home on a ship that Elon Musk provided. God bless his soul. Dr. Jelly Litany and Neil Legstrong were put in prison for being super uncool. We also found out that Han Solo, Chewie, and Cloney Jack successfully made it back to Earth, where they started a cross-country trip to visit every steak and shake in the US. Me, Debbie Pasta, and Baloney Bob still stay in contact with each other on a regular basis by playing Dungeons & Dragons on Tuesday nights, where I always win every time because I'm a dank 320 meme lord, except for when Baloney Bob lets the enemies roll a 25 and I can only roll a 7. Like what the heck dude, that's not even fair. Ugh. Amen.